are able to participate in the meeting at the appropriate times.
If you are here today and would like to speak about a case, please provide your name clearly into the microphone, and please be sure to sign in either at the back of the room or at the podium for documentation purposes. If you're here today to speak about a case, you must speak up when the chairperson calls for public comment. And I'll go ahead and call the roll. Mr. Bradman?
Here.
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mr. Foster?
Here.
Mr. Harp?
Here.
Mr. Holcomb?
Here.
Mr. Osorio?
Here.
And Mr. Cohn.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
I'll give a brief review of the meeting format. Applicants with requests before the Planning Commission are allotted a presentation time of 10 minutes. This time should include, but is not limited to, an overview of the project, case history, and any pertinent meetings held regarding the request. This time also includes all persons presenting information on behalf of the applicant, such as attorneys, engineers, and architects. This time does not include any questions asked by the Planning Commission or staff regarding request. During the public comment period, members of the general public are given the opportunity to address their concerns in intervals of 2 minutes. And after the public comment period, applicants have 5 minutes to respond. The administrator has a timer and will make presenters aware of when their time has expired, and the Planning Commission reserves the right to amend these procedures on a case-by-case basis. Are there any changes to the agenda?
There have been no changes since publication.
All right, we'll move to the consent agenda. The Planning Commission uses the consent agenda to approve non-controversial or routine matters by a single motion and vote. Examples of such items include the approval of site plans, annexations, and street names. And if a member of the Planning Commission or the general public would like to discuss an item on the consent agenda, you must speak up after the consent agenda is read. Then that item will be considered for removal from the consent agenda and considered during the meeting. The Planning Commission will then approve the remaining consent agenda items. Will staff please read the consent agenda? Thanks.
The first item on the consent agenda is to approve the November 13th, 2025 meeting minutes. The second item under zoning map and text amendment is ZMA 2025-0020, 4120 North Main Street. Request recommendation to rezone the property from Community Activity Center Corridor District, CAC, in the North Main Corridor Design Overlay District to Community Activity Center Corridor District, CAC, in the North Main Corridor Design Overlay District, Historic Preservation Overlay District, OVHP, as an individual landmark type 2, and amend the Unified Development Ordinance, Chapter 17, Appendix B, Type 2 landmarks to establish the property as a City of Columbia landmark. And that concludes the consent agenda today.
All right, thank you. Are there any commission members that have any items on the consent agenda they would like to discuss? Are there any members of the public that would like the one item considered for removal? All right, seeing none, I will take a motion for the approval of the November minutes and the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the November 13, 2025 minutes and the item on the consent agenda.
Thank you. We've got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, I've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. We will move on to the regular agenda and give a overview or outline for these items. The administrator will introduce the case. Applicants will have 10 minutes to make a presentation. The Planning Commission may ask questions, and then the public comment period will be open to those who are present. After the public comment period is closed, the applicant will have 5 minutes to respond to the public comments. The Planning Commission may ask additional questions of the applicant, after which deliberation and action will be taken by the Planning Commission. Start with the first item on the regular agenda.
Yes, good afternoon. The first item on the regular agenda is Annex 2025-0023, which is 4316 and 4340 Old Leesburg Road, which is tax map number 2211-30102. And this is a request for a recommendation on the assignment of the land use classification of Urban Edge Residential Small Lot and the assignment of zoning of residential single-family small lot district RSF3 for a pending annexation. The property is currently classified as neighborhood medium density and zone residential 4 by Richland County. And as a reminder to the Planning Commission, this request is a recommendation on the, as we said, the zoning and the land use of the property. The current county zoning is R4, which is the equivalent to our RSF3 zoning district. So while we do amend our zoning maps and when we take it into the city, in this case, it is essentially the equivalent zoning district. And I believe the applicant is present and can answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you. Is the applicant here?
Good afternoon. My name's Hank Mabry. I'm working on behalf of the developer. Basically, what we're wanting to do is the same thing we did next door, is annex 2 50-acre parcels for residential high-density subdivision. Currently, we don't have any water and sewer services, therefore we want to annex into the city. Happy to answer any questions from anybody.
Thank you. Do any commission members have any questions for the applicant? Thank you. All right. Are there any members of the public that would like to speak regarding this applicant? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Mary Lynn Bear. This was actually my grandfather's land, so I know a little bit about this land. It didn't come down through everything, but this has been rural for years and years. There is actually a Confederate cemetery on this land that is not documented. It has headstones that are graves. There are some that are wood, and we don't actually know the size of this cemetery because it is not clearly marked. As you can see on the map, there is also a significant 5-acre pond that has drainage that is a wetland into Canary Woods, which is the previous project that he was talking about. So before any zoning or motions or development, this property does need to be studied more about what's on the property and stuff. I live adjacent to this property. It means my dad's lived on, if you can see on the top of the map, there's that little kind of house that's right there. He's lived there for 73 years in that little house. Being as what they've developed beside of us, there could be like 10 little homes that go up right around the edge of his property. And we're talking all the way out into Lower Richland. We're not talking just 5 miles from here. We're talking this borders Lower Richland Boulevard. So it's pretty significantly far out there. I do understand that since there is a property there, y'all can annex it in, but just trying to bring some things to light that I don't know that is known about the property. So thank y'all.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Gerald Waller. I'm the dad that she talked about. Just lived there for 74 years, 73 years. I'm here to oppose the changing of the zoning from medium density to high density. That means I'll get a couple hundred neighbors right quick like. And since I lived in that area from all my whole life and it's been rural like that, I kind of hate to see it become high density. I know when it does become high density, the city of Columbia probably want to pave that dirt road that I live on. And my house is only like 40 foot off that road maybe. So I'm gonna lose half my yard. I kind of opposed to that too, but that hasn't come up yet. It just would be in my favor or in my happiness to see it not be rezoned. You have any questions for me?
Where's your house relative to this?
Do you have a pointer? That's it.
Keep going up.
To the left a little bit. Right there, that's it. That's it. When my cousin sold that property over there, it's in the other shade, and, they zoned it, they changed it and zoned it to high density. But, I was lucky enough to get a buffer between them and myself with a tree preserve. But I don't see any provisions for that around my property. But if you take that blue line, I would have houses right out my front door. New houses right out my front door. I mean, it probably, I'd say 50 feet from my door to where this would start. So, if there's any way possible, I'd appreciate it if y'all could nix this, leave it as medium density, a rural area.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other members of the public that would like to speak regarding this application? I have a question for staff. So, Mr. Livingood, you commented, I think the zonings are comparable.
Yes, and just to clarify, you are considering both the amendment to the land use maps and the zoning maps. The land use maps are non-regulatory, so they're part of the comprehensive plan. And when we annex a piece of property, we do need to amend the land use maps. Likewise, Richland County has their land use classification as well. So their classification for this area is neighborhood medium density, and it's a very big basket that holds many different zoning districts. So there are parts of the county that are within the land use map that would be actually really close to the city core, like Olympia, et cetera, that would be mixed residential high density. They have a neighborhood medium density, and they have a neighborhood low density, and then they have rural designations. The neighborhood medium density is similar, actually it's the same classification that is out the village at Sand Hills, in the areas around Wood Creek Farms that are not inside the city limits. So that's what that land use classification is. But the regulatory part of it, which is R4, that is the county's district that is the equivalent to our RSF3 district. So it's the small lot, single-family residential zoning district. So while it is technically a rezoning, it is basically translating the county zoning to the city zoning.
Can I follow up on that?
Yes.
Just as far as number of units per acre that are allowed, are they equivalent essentially?
Yes, roughly equivalent. We don't measure density for the RSF3 district. It's 5,000 square foot lot minimum. And then there's a minimum width and minimum depth.
Okay, so regardless of density, but basically the minimum widths and minimum lot sizes are equivalent to what it's currently
Yes.
zoned.
Yes.
Addressing the gentleman's question about buffering, can you, of course, this project I'm sure would come to Planning Commission for site plan review because of the size of it, correct?
Yes, that would be correct.
Okay, and there would be some provision for buffering, I would think, from a relatively high-intensity use to a very low-intensity use. Any thoughts on that?
I'm going to defer to one of my colleagues that may speak a little bit better about that.
It would be single-family adjacent to single-family, so buffering would not be required, but the planning commission could implement a condition that a wood fence be constructed adjacent to that property to serve as a buffer and some additional landscaping if that was their desire.
During the site plan review?
That's correct.
Okay.
Similar to what they did, I believe, on the west side.
What kind of setback is required?
There are open space requirements and tree density requirements. I'm not sure where they will fulfill those on site, but there are, as far as a setback between the zonings and the site plan, I'm not sure as to what exactly it would be. Because again, it's single family to adjacent to single family.
Thank you.
So if we're talking about the zoning district, so let's say there was a lot next to it, the rear yard setback is 10 feet. Front yard setback would be 15 feet. And of course, in that case, there would be a street there. But it really depends on the layout of the subdivision.
So it seems like the zoning's not really changing. It's annexation and it's an equivalent zoning to what it's already zoned for in Richland County, right?
Right. So we are translating the county zoning to city zoning.
Okay. So at the site plan review meeting is probably the time where we can talk about those other things potentially.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, in addressing the comment about the Confederate Cemetery and the wetlands, I know we can't get too deep into that, but there would be some provisions during the site planning and the surveying that would identify wetlands, certainly, and should identify any cemetery areas.
Excuse me, yeah, if you'd like to come speak, we can.
I kind of addressed
Oh,
her, so
okay, I'm
I
sorry.
apologize. That was my fault. Sure.
Sure, thank you. Just so we have it, thank you.
I mean, to your point about the headstones, there are probably not 25 at least there. And like I said, there is no documentation. The family, like I said, this is my grandfather's land. He had originally put it in a living trust to keep it from ever being developed because he had Parkinson's. It's got passed down. My uncle wants to sell it. Okay. But the family never wanted anybody on this property. So there is no documentation that I know of this cemetery. I mean, but you walk in the woods, you can clearly find it, you can clearly see it. And like I said, there are stones that have the Confederate flag on them. There are some that are so old that they are wood, that the wood is rotting. So how many have already rotted? We don't know and stuff. So yeah, there would have to be some provision of, I don't think a housing development would go in and destroy a cemetery and stuff.
I don't think so either.
And stuff, so I mean, but yeah.
So regardless of the zoning, just to make sure I'm clear and communicate this, any site plan is going to come back.
Okay, and I understand that, and I understand that the city is, because I was here before, y'all may or may not remember me, about the Canary Woods when my cousin sold what's now that big acreage of Canary Woods and stuff. And I do realize y'all have a little bit more control over what gets put on that than Richland County technically would. So it's just, I would prefer it to stay medium density. That means less houses, but at the same time, I do understand that it is the equivalent of what Richland County already has. I'm just speaking my opposition to it.
Well, I appreciate you coming and everyone for communicating their concerns. I think today the only thing we're considering is the annexation and just the assignment of the zoning when it comes into the city.
Yeah.
At a future date, there would be another review for a site plan, and that would probably be the more appropriate time to
Okay, I do have a follow-up question, if you don't mind. My
Sure.
dad's 2.2 acres that he pointed out. Since it would sit in the middle of two city properties, would he automatically be zoned into the city?
I don't know if it would be automatic, but I think the city could, if they could elect to annex him now if they chose.
I can answer that. There's nothing automatic about it. I don't know if there's water or sewer service from the city to the
No,
property.
I mean,
Yeah. So the property would be eligible for annexation. We would not require annexation unless it was connected to city water or sewer.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this whole property, none of it has city water or sewer to it and stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right, thank you. Yes, sir. Maybe.
Thank you again. I just want to stay on point here. We do know about the cemetery. It was located on the survey, indicated, and that will be, protected. We don't know how many graves are there. The surveyor couldn't tell us, but that area will be protected. As far as environmental, we've already had an environmental study done by a local firm here in Columbia, and they have addressed it with Corps of Engineers and found out that there are no jurisdictional wetlands in the particular area that we're talking about. Obviously, the pond is, but the drainage from there's not enough. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, do any commission members have any more questions, either the applicant or staff? Before tabling a motion, I would just advise everyone to remember today we're only considering the annexation of the zoning assignment, not the actual development that would come. All right. Anyone put a motion we'll consider?
Mr. Chair, I move that we recommend approval of the request to assign the future land use classification of Urban Edge Residential Small Lot, UER1, and the request to assign the zoning classification of, Residential Single Family Small Lot District, RSF3, for the property at 4316 and 4340 Old Leesburg Road at the time of annexation, as it would allow the subject property to be put to a reasonable, viable economic use and would result in development that can be served by available, adequate, and suitable public facilities.
Thank you. We've got a motion. We have a second. Second. All right, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is EMA 2025-0019, and this is 3329 River Drive. And this is a request for a recommendation to rezone the property from residential mixed district, RM2, in a historic preservation overlay district, which is the Earlwood Protection Area A, to mixed use district, MU1, also, or really still in the historic preservation overlay district, and again, the Earlwood Protection Area A. And, briefly, the staff recommendation on this is approval. The part of the rationale is while it is extending this mixed-use district onto a block that does not currently have a commercial or mixed-use nature, the property, it is a historic commercial structure, and because of the design overlay, we feel that it allows enough protection for what would be there that we are comfortable with this request. I believe the applicant is present and can answer any questions you may have.
Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great. I'm listening to Lewis Ellis. I own LLE Construction Group. I'm also a principal with Collaborative Partners, a local development firm. When we acquired this property, Initially, it was in the 80 zone as a commercial property, which it looks commercial. Over the years, it was rezoned to residential. And our request is to rezone it back to commercial so that we can open up a cafe coffee shop in this space.
So it's, is it current, I'm confused. It's used commercially currently.
So when we purchased it, it was a hair salon, but it was zoned residential, so she can only have 2 seats in that salon
Okay.
because it was residential zoning. When we purchased it, we were under the impression we can continue to use it as a hair salon, but only 2 seats that would not pay the bills. So we have elected to, we've met with zoning over the last year, back and forth, kind of deciding what we could do with that property. And that's what we've come up with. And because there's some mixed-use zoning right across the street to where that property is located, everything else is residential. It would be in, I guess, the best use, not only for us, but the community to make it commercial. And we have met with the neighborhood association and pitched our ideas to them, which they liked as well. So that's what our request is.
How long have you owned the property?
It's been over a year, so I've been
Okay.
paying taxes and stuff for a year. I'm ready to renovate it and get it into usable space in the community. So we've had it, I think we bought it last October, so a little over a year. Yeah.
Do any commission members have any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I have a question. What kind of traffic would you be expecting, in terms of how many people, once you get it built out, would you be expecting to be there? I know there's a small parking lot, and there's not a ton of street parking there, especially with the new bike lane on River. So
Yeah.
how many are you expecting, and how are you going to accommodate parking?
So first of all, we met with the SBDC, Small Business Development Center. They helped us do a market analysis. Of course, it didn't track the street count, but it did track demographics as far as families and people coming in and out of the city. That's a very busy street on River Drive, coming from Broad River. As far as a community cafe, street parking is allowed in that particular area of the community. I don't know. I hope we get a lot of traffic, right? As we open up a cafe, but I can't really answer that, but I can get back with you if I have to.
Do you know, how many parking spots there are now, and are you planning to add any, or just work with what's there?
So we have no room to add any parking. We would keep what's there. And we have 9 parking spaces. It's 8 or 9.
Okay.
Let me see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 9.
And I suppose you'd love for people to walk there too, right?
So my goal as a small-scale developer, I'm all about walkable communities. And so the goal is to have, if you know that community, there's no commercial space, no cafes, no eateries really, right, in that area. So allowing to be able to tap into the community to walk there, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Question for staff. In order for this to become a cafe, is the staff going to have to review a site plan for a change in use and determine adequate parking,
Yeah.
anything
So
like that?
do I answer that? Because I have an answer to it.
No, I can answer it. So we would review any submittal. Now, I will say that we do not have a minimum parking requirement in the MU1 district, but currently the site, other than the portion occupied by, I can't speak this afternoon, other than the portion that's occupied by the building, it is paved. Yeah.
And and Darren, we've hired an architect to do the drawings for us.
Yeah.
And they have given us a preliminary, site layout. And we haven't submitted it yet because we're doing the rezoning.
So you are changing the site a little bit?
Nope,
No, right, okay.
it stay the same pretty much.
Yeah, I would leave it like it is.
Yeah, we will.
Just one question. Given that you only have, you're only allowed for 2 seats right now, how often are those 9 spots filled, if at all?
So when I bought it, I did not use it as a hair salon.
Okay.
The previous owner did, but she retired. How she use it, I'm not really sure.
Okay.
But there's plenty of parking. I mean, I don't, what was your question?
I was just wondering if, while it's operating at the current moment, if the lot's ever full, would it?
Oh, so no one's ever there. We do allow the neighbors to let contractors park there when they paint the houses. They'll ask me, can the contractors park there while they go paint a house or something, but we own the property one door down and the lot next to it, we're also buying that. But there's no traffic there now.
Okay, thank you. And then just one question for staff. Given that the structure was, it seems like, initially designed as a commercial structure, was it at one point zoned for commercial use and then rezoned for residential use?
I'm certain at one point it was zoned commercial, but it has been residential for a long time. There was a special exception under the old zoning ordinance to allow a beauty salon within that structure. And that's something that was permitted in the residential district as a special exception.
Okay, and then given that special exception in the past, is that the reasoning why staff is recommending for approval?
So yeah, we are recommending approval, and mainly this is again, normally we don't recommend approval of kind of this commercial intrusion onto a residential block, but this is a unique circumstance. I mean, there is an existing building which is protected, with the historic district, so it's not as if the building would be demolished, at least not without, review of the DDRC. And so it really makes this, in our mind, a valid exception to that rule when we consider the relatively light density of the mixed use one, the MU1 district. The last page of your packet for this does show a smattering of uses that are allowed. It certainly allows for residential, and this building can be used for residential, but the commercial uses tend towards the lighter uses, if that helps explain.
It does. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll say when that building was built, it was zoned commercial. And at some point, it was rezoned residential. And then the exception was put in place when the previous owner opened up a hair salon.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's accurate. I mean, I don't remember the date the building was constructed, but yeah.
I think common sense wise, right, it doesn't look like all the other houses around it. It does look more like a commercial property than residential, in my opinion. My last question for staff is, what would potential implications be of the rezoning? Like, could they demolish the building and put something larger up? Maybe if not now, if in the future.
So any demolition request would have to be reviewed by our, what is currently the Design Development Review Commission. And, there are standards they have to look at, and generally speaking, and I'm not intimately familiar with it, but the question is a contributing structure, and in terms of a demolition, they're unlikely to recommend approval unless there's a structural fault to the building, et cetera. Now, could they add on to it? That would be possible, but that again would be design. I mean, the design would be reviewed for compatibility with the historic district.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like to comment, when we put the property under contract, our goal was to demo it and get rid of it. Really cute, but we had some other plans. But because it sits in the historic district, we were told we could not demo it. So we had to find another use for it.
I don't think the lot's large enough to have a conforming redevelopment anyway, so it's appropriate.
Did you say you own the adjacent parcel as well?
We're planning closing now on it, but I own the property next to that one.
The schoolhouse properties?
So that's the one under contract.
Okay, gotcha.
And the one next to it, the two-story, we own that one.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And then I guess another thing I should mention, and thanks to Jonathan for reminding me. So if the building was demolished and there was a new development on the site, there would be landscape buffers, et cetera, that would be required. So the site itself is actually kind of non-conforming. So that would help limit any future commercial use of the property.
As the owner, we're aware, but if we ever sell it, we'll make sure we communicate that as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Do any commission members have any other questions for the applicant?
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public that would like to speak regarding this application? All right. So, I'll consider a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that the Planning Commission recommend approval of the zoning map amendment at the ZMA-2025-0019, 3329 River Drive to mixed-use district, MU-1, as it meets the decision standards outlined in section 17-2.5C in the Unified Development Ordinance.
Thank you. We've got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes. Thank you.
That brings us to item number 5, S Plan 2025-0020, 931 Senate Street. And this project entails the construction of a 7-story multifamily residential development, parking garage, and retail space at the northwest corner of Park Street and Senate Street. The proposed development will contain 221 apartments, amenity space, and 3,400 square feet of retail space. The required number of off-street parking spaces for this development is 0, whereas 198 will be provided within a parking garage. In addition, 260 bicycle parking spaces will be provided in the parking garage. The applicant has provided a traffic impact study, which has been reviewed and approved by the city traffic engineering. In accordance with section 1725I6 of the UDO, the Planning Commission shall approve a major site plan upon finding that the proposed major site plan demonstrates all of the following standards are met. Number 1, the proposed uses are allowed in the zoning district in accordance with Article 4 use regulations. Number 2, the development and uses in site plan comply with Article 4 use regulations. Number 3, the development proposed in the site plan and the general layout and design comply with all applicable standards. In Article 5, the development proposed in the site plan and its general layout and design comply with all applicable standards of Article 6, land development subdivision standards. Number 5, the development proposed in the site plan is consistent with all other applicable standards of this ordinance and code of ordinances. And staff has reviewed the major site plan application and has determined that the standards of section 1725I6 are met. And should the commission be inclined to grant approval of the site plan, staff would request that the commission grant approval subject to the staff comments outlined in the case summary. And I believe the applicant is present with their development team and can go further into their case.
Thank you. Is the applicant here to speak regarding the application? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm Matt Swedenberg. I'm on the development team at Subtext. Just want to say first off, thank you to staff for getting us to this point. We've been going back and forth on a lot of things since probably March of this year. But here to answer any questions that you have. I'm going to keep it pretty brief from my side. We do have another project in the market that's under construction that was probably brought before you roughly 2 or 3 years ago. So we like being in Columbia, enjoy developing here, but happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you.
And we have our civil and architect here as well, and land use. So.
Has this project already been before DDRC?
Yes, it went last month, and it got deferred to next Thursday. So we've had a couple meetings between last month and today, so.
Thanks. Any question from commission members?
Did anything that DDRC discuss affect the site plan that we're reviewing now, or was it strictly architectural or?
I don't believe the site plan, Neil, it should just be all exterior material and the way we're, yeah.
Hello, Neil Reardon, leading the architecture team on this project. Yes, to answer your question, Commissioner, no major changes to the materiality that you see up here. There has been tweaks to just minor tweaks to the areas of brick, couple areas of additional brick zones, including on the northwest side of the building, which is one of the main points of review from the DDRC since last month. And
okay, but no site plan changes? No
site plan changes intrinsically, a couple very minor, dimensional adjustments on the site plan, but nothing that we won't review as staff and haven't shown them so far. So.
Oh, all right. Is it all residential or is there mixed use on the first floor?
There is a space for retail on the corner. Yeah.
What are you envisioning in that space? Like a retail shop or like some kind of?
It will be a restaurant. We're not allowed to say at this point.
Oh, secret.
Steakhouse.
And are these market rate or student?
This is so I'll kind of go back a little bit. So our first project here is Verve Columbia. That is specific to students. Mm-hmm. This is local Columbia. This is our brand that is for more young adult professionals. And so it would be under that brand rather than the Verve brand.
Gotcha.
Any other questions?
Just a quick question for staff. Is the only condition that I see is the solid waste condition?
I saw that too.
Never mind. I see the other conditions as well. Sorry. No, I see the rest. Okay, sorry. No.
I've been wondering for a while if that was going to sit like that, so.
Is a parking garage intended to be only for resident use or will it have, like day rates you could buy?
So I would say there's a small portion of it dedicated for the retail space and for like guests of like the leasing center, but the majority of it will be for the residents. And we're also in the process of working with staff on the parking side. There's a parking deck, I believe, on the other side of the Hilton that we would be working with to master lease a few more spaces, likely 50 to 100, just to allow for more parking availability in the area.
So the staff comment about additional off-street parking is encouraged but not required, was that, that's like including the 190 or whatever you said?
That's correct.
So you want more than 190 if it
It's
were
not
Christmas?
required, but if the applicant could obtain some more, that would be,
And that's
that
what
would be
he's
the
talking
parking
about with the
services.
leasing
Yes,
across the street?
that's correct. And they have reached out to parking services to try to secure some additional parking spaces in the area.
Yeah, we reached out to them probably back in June or so, and they'd indicated that there was space in that garage. And we're following up with them now to memorialize that into a, written plan.
Thank you.
Just to be clear, though, the site plan we're voting on is not conditioned on them getting additional parking.
That is correct.
Did the study provide a parking recommendation? Was there any parking recommendation provided in the traffic study, or? Okay.
In the conclusion of the traffic study, all I saw was they wanted one-way ingress and egress from the two entries to the building.
Just one more question for staff. Just to confirm, the site plan does meet the section 17-2.5 I-6 standards, all of them?
That is correct. And the conditions are just,
In addition,
generally are kind of standard comments with all developments that you see.
thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you. Thanks. All right. There any members of the public who would like to speak regarding the application? All right, any further discussion amongst commissioners? All right, we'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion that the planning commission approve the major site plan for S-Plan-2025-0020 at 931 Senate Street for the major site plan approval conditional upon staff comments being addressed, and that it will meet all the site decision standards, which has already been determined.
Thank you. We've got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes. Thank you. And I think, does that bring us to, is there any other business? I don't think there's any other
You
business.
guys, anyone? No? Anyone? I think
All
we're
right.
good.
Well, we'll have a motion to adjourn.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Mr. Chair, make a motion to adjourn.
All right, got a motion and a second.
Second.
All right, everybody's in favor? All right,
Happy holidays, everybody.
happy holidays.
Oh, that's okay. Okay.